Hey everybody, Wicked Gaming here. Today we're going to cover how to disable snapping of foundation pieces. This is an extremely useful skill for doing more advanced building techniques, for example things like curved walls. But more importantly, this method also allows you to manipulate building stability, as well as doing a few other techniques that have a direct bearing on base design for PvP. I'll be covering some of those other techniques in future videos. However, before you can do those more advanced builds, we need to master skills like being able to disable snapping. So let's jump right in. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a foundation piece right here. I'm going to go ahead, and it's sometimes easier to do this disabling of snapping trick in first person. So I'm going to go ahead and go into first person mode. The default key for that is the P key. It's the toggle between first and third person, just in case you don't know. So how do you do this trick? Well, first of all, I want to tell you, I want to put a foundation piece right here in this area, but I don't want it to snap to this piece on this side. So to get the game to do that, what I need to do is first set down some non-building placeable, like a barrel. I like using barrels here. You can use other things too, but it just has to be a non-building placeable item. So what you do is you set down your non-placeable, like this barrel. Then you're going to switch to a foundation piece. And notice it says cannot place while overlapping another object, because the barrel's in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and left click anyway, like I'm going to place, and it says invalid building placement. Now I unselect my foundation piece, then I go ahead and select the barrel and remove it, returning it to my inventory. Now you'll notice it's not wanting to snap to this side. Actually, it's trying to snap back there, but it's not. I've disabled snapping in this area right here, but it still wants to try to snap to these back pieces. So first of all, let's go over what the game's doing. By putting the barrel there and then trying to place, for some reason it's locking in this general area that it's no longer going to snap to this adjacent piece on this part of the piece. But there is still some other problems, because I can't really get close to this foundation piece because it's trying to snap to these other pieces. What the game is doing is it often seeks out valid snap points. So to mitigate that problem, what I'm going to do is go back here with another placeable, and I'm going to place this here. Now watch what happens. I can get kind of close to this piece. Now it's wanting to snap up top. By putting this placeable back here, I have blocked the game from using this as a valid snap point area. So now it's trying to throw it up above this foundation piece. What I can do now is place another placeable here on top. Now I've blocked this snap point. So watch here. Well, now it's trying to snap to the front. I've cleared out my disabling of snapping, so I need to redo the technique. So go ahead and place a barrel. I'm going to now switch to foundation piece. Left click. It locks it into this area, and I get the message at the top right, invalid building placement. I deselect the foundation piece, pick the barrel up, now select the foundation piece again, and now notice here, it's no longer trying to snap behind that foundation piece nor on top of it. And I can basically, I'm going to go ahead and raise it up. I can get really close, and I can actually place it here if I want to, and it's not going to snap to the front. But notice sometimes it's still trying to snap left or right. So let's go ahead and let's block these other snap points. So I blocked the left and right snap point. Okay, now it's still trying to snap to the front. I've cleared out my disabling of snapping by doing that, so I have to redo the technique. So I'm going to go ahead and place my barrel again. Select the foundation, place the foundation, unselect the foundation, pick up the barrel. Now go back to the foundation piece. And notice, it has nowhere else to go now. I've disabled all possible snap points. And in this one area that's left to snap in, snapping has been disabled. So I can get really close, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to basically make more of a curvature with the foundation pieces. Now, if I get too close, it says cannot place while overlapping another object. What it's doing, it's overlapping too much of that other foundation piece. So because of that, I cannot make it curve a lot. I can only get a little bit of curving, but you can make curved walls using this method. So let's go ahead and try again. Now, I'm going to have the snapping issues again on the left and right when I try to place here and above it. So I'm going to go ahead and just block those snap points right from the get-go. Now I'm going to redo the method here. Place a barrel. Select the foundation. Left-click the foundation to place it. It says it's invalid building placement. Deselect the foundation. Pick the barrel up. Boom. Now I can place another foundation, and snapping is disabled in this area. Go ahead and raise it up to the other level of those other foundations. Get it as close as I can. Boom. So I basically have a foundation, 3 foundations, and notice the curvature there. You can actually do somewhat curved walls. It's a very shallow curvature, but you can do it. Well, that's kind of novel. You can do curved walls, and that's more for aesthetics. It's not really useful for anything like PvP. So let's go ahead and use this technique for something that will have a direct bearing on PvP. It's very useful for some base builds. So what I'm going to use is fence foundations. Now it's a lot trickier to try to disable snapping around fence foundations than regular foundation pieces, and one of the reasons why is there's way more snap points and snap orientations. So go ahead and place a fence foundation there. Now notice what goes on here. Now I can attach here, and it will try to snap here and parallel to the wall or perpendicular to the wall. It will also do it on this other end. So that's 4 snap points, or 4 ways to snap. It can also snap here in the middle. It can snap back on both the middle, the left, and the right. And it also can snap above and do it in front. So what is that? That's a total of 10 different ways to snap to this piece. So that's why it's very difficult to disable snapping around a fence foundation, but it can be done. So let's go ahead and try it. I want to get this next foundation piece parallel to this fence foundation and as close as possible. Now notice I can't just rotate. It's seeking out valid snap points and, going there when I look in certain areas. So let's go ahead and try the method. We'll place the barrel, and notice I can't. It won't even allow me to get it in a parallel position at all. So what I'm going to do is keeps trying to snap to the left and right. So let's go ahead and start blocking snap points. So let's block those 2. Now go back. Okay, now it's blocked the left and right, but now it's trying to go behind it. So let's go ahead and block those positions for snapping. Now it's trying to snap left and right. Notice it, okay, and sometimes it's trying to snap above. So there's like 3 snap positions and orientations left. So let's go ahead and block this one and this one. Boom. That's what I want right there. I want it to be in this kind of orientation, parallel to that other fence foundation piece behind it. So let's left click to lock it into place. Deselect that fence foundation, pick up the barrel. Now go back to the foundation piece. Okay, I still got a problem. It's trying to snap above this. To disable this last snap point, you're going to have to do something besides use an iron pan. You're going to have to use a ceiling piece. So let's go back to our fence foundation. Oh wait, you can't. Yeah, it's still trying to snap there, so we have to block it. The ceiling piece was going to allow me to put a pan there, an iron pan. That should block it. Yes, and it has. Okay, it looks like it still has snapping disabled in this area, so let's go ahead and make use of that. We want to raise it up to the same level as this foundation piece and get it as close as possible and as parallel as possible. That looks pretty good right there. Let's left click. Boom, it's placed. All right, let's try this again. I want to put basically 6. That's what I'm going to shoot for right here. I want to put 6 fence foundations lined up as close as possible to each other. So let's do our method again. Place the barrel, switch to the fence foundation. It's locked into place. Pick our barrel up. I think these pans are going to be in the way. Yeah. I need to move this pan back and this pan back. So just go back a little bit more. So I'm still blocking those 2 snap points, but I'm going to be able to go next to the wall. Now notice snapping is now can't come back, so you have to repeat the method. Looks like I put my pans too far back because it's now snapping to the left or to the right. So let's fix that. Right there should be good. Right there should be good. Okay, snapping's back. Got to disable snapping again. All right. Snapping is disabled. I can make the wall parallel to the other 2. Get it up to the same level. And get it as close as possible. Boom, we got 3. So I'm basically going to keep doing this method and get this 6 walls wide. Okay, we're back. And you'll notice here I have 6 fence foundations stacked right up against each other. Now if you try to, say, make this wall higher, and that's what I'm basically doing. I'm making a very, very thick wall out of fence foundations. I want to make it higher, and notice how I get snapping issues. When you're trying to extend this wall up, it's easier to come over to the side, kind of looking at the wall askance to, or try to be as parallel to the wall as possible. And then just look up. If you look down, it's going to try to snap down here. Look up, and just keep adding walls or fence foundation sections one higher up on each row, like so. And so you would, and once you get the first 6 down, it's really easy to extend this thing as long as you want it. However long you want to make this. Now notice sometimes it doesn't like to snap sometimes to certain areas. It's tricky. There you go. You just have to look around until it snaps right. Like so. So look at what we've done here. And I can keep going as far down as I want the wall to go. Now I have a foundation piece down here just for comparative purposes. So if you look at the number of hit points on this piece here, it's 50,000. You would have to do 50,000 hit points of damage to punch through a foundation stacked wall like this one. How many hit points would you have to do for this one? Somebody would have to do 270,000 hit points of damage to punch through a wall made out of fence foundations like this. You have 270,000 hit points and the same volume of space as a foundation, a regular foundation piece. That's huge. That's a massive increase. This is very useful for PvP purposes. There's also some other techniques that make use of disabling of snapping that have direct bearing on PvP. base builds, and we'll go over those in another video. But that's basically it for this one. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe and check back more often. We'll still be doing Conan Exile videos as long as people have an interest.